So with the release of AFL Evolution 2 supposedly just a few months away, I'm going to go through all the things that I hope to see in the game, starting off with 8 essential improvements for player career mode. It'd also be cool if the game let you take part in the pre-game warm-up with your teammates. Now this shouldn't be too hard to add, I'd imagine, because this is basically just the free roam mode that AFL Evo 1 had, with some AI teammates surrounding you taking shots at goal. Similar to what NBA 2K has in their My Career mode, where before the game you go out and take a few practice shots just to get yourself warmed up. It's the same kind of thing that you'd have in AFL, just taking shots at goal and something to kind of get your eye in almost. As the teams run out onto the field at the start of a match, it'd be cool if in player career mode we actually got to see that from the player's perspective, from the rooms up the race and onto the field, rather than just the standard kind of broadcast shots you might get in other matches when you're playing as the whole team. It'd be pretty unique and pretty cool to be able to see this all from your player's perspective and get to take in the whole atmosphere. Now when I'm playing in my player career mode, I want to feel like I'm part of a living and breathing AFL world. So perhaps you could have news stories that not only talk about exciting things that have happened to our player and to our team, but also things that are happening with other teams and players throughout the leagues, injuries, suspensions, players who are in good form, players who are in bad form, just to make a bit more realism to the world you're playing in and make it feel like things are going on outside of your team and your player. Now this is a big one, trade and free agency. We need an actual trade and free agency period that works how it realistically should. So for player career, that means something like perhaps in the second half of the season, you start getting emails from opposition teams expressing their interest in you. Perhaps your own team could put you up on the trade table. And to feed the previous point into this, with all the league news and stuff, perhaps league news could start reporting rumours about you being put up as trade bait before your club's even told you, and make a bit of drama within your club. Now on top of this, we should be able to request a trade and nominate a preferred team we'd like to go to. Now your success on getting to that team obviously depends on their interest in you and their needs, as well as your team's interest in retaining your services, while also making a fair trade for both teams. It'd also be handy to be able to keep track of other teams' interest in you and your services. That way, if you are requesting a trade or if you are in free agency, you know which teams are interested in you and which teams are more likely to sign you should you nominate them as your preferred destination. Now, other teams' interest in you would obviously be dependent on your statistics, your form, and their team needs. Now, when we talk about opposition team interest, one thing that should affect this is your home state. So if I'm playing for a Victorian team but I'm from South Australia, the Crows and the Power should be pretty high up on the list of teams interested in my services. Now obviously this would also be based on team requirements, so if you're a full forward and both of these clubs already have a ton of options in that position and some or most of which are better rated than you, then they're not going to be as interested in you as they may otherwise be. If your player is coming out of contract, your club should get in touch with you about renegotiating. Now your players should definitely be able to be somewhat involved in this process by saying what salary demands they have, how many years they expect to sign, and the club's willingness to agree to these terms will obviously be based on how well you're playing and how high you're rated and all those kind of things. Your players should be delisted at the end of the season if they've been in bad form. Now there's got to be a bit of leeway with this. It'd probably be multiple poor seasons or multiple seasons of not hitting your goals and your objectives, rather than one bad year after a couple of good ones and you're delisted. And once you get delisted, you'll have options to sign with another club, so whether that be lower state league clubs or other AFL teams who might be interested in you. But again, you'd have to do that through a realistic manner, so whether that's entering the pre-season draft and taking your chances there or whatever it may be, it should be realistic. In Evolution 1 there wasn't really a realistic signing process. It was just basically you got offers from about 6 or 7 teams and you just picked whichever one you liked. That's not really how it works. So making that process a bit more realistic could be crucial. As your player is approaching the end of their career and retirement, it'd be interesting if clubs came to you and approached you with offers about potentially transitioning into a coaching role. Obviously there's no assistant coaches in the game, so you'd probably have to start with state league levels or coaching at NAB under 18 or TAC Cup or all these different options, but you'd have to start off at lower levels and then work your way up to become an AFL senior coach. But again, we want this to be realistic. So if I've spent the last couple of years coaching down in the VFL and I'm thinking of transitioning into AFL head coaching, then make it realistic the number of teams that are offering. Don't have 7 or 8 teams all looking for a new senior coach and half of which are teams that made finals. I think it should at least be a rule that if a team is looking for a new coach, there should probably be a bottom 8 side. It doesn't really make much sense to have top 8 teams looking for new coaches. It might happen every now and again, but I think the majority of times bottom 8 sides are the ones looking for new coaches. So definitely make that in the game, where if you're getting offered a coaching role by a club, it should be a team that didn't have a good season the year before. Okay guys, that's my list for things I'd love to see in Evolution 2's player career mode. Leave your thoughts down below. What did you think of some of the things I listed? What do you want to see in player career mode for Evolution 2? And remember to hit like and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.